In the quiet town of Willowbrook, nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, lived a boy named Eli. Eli was neither the brightest student in class nor the most athletic, but he had a heart full of dreams. He often imagined himself as a renowned inventor, creating gadgets that would change the world. Yet there was one thing holding him back: his inability to stay disciplined. Eli was a master of excuses. He would promise himself to start a new project, learn a new skill, or even clean his room, but tomorrow was his favorite word. His parents and teachers often urged him to take small steps, but Eli believed only grand gestures could lead to success. And since those seemed too daunting, he never began. One crisp autumn afternoon, as Eli wandered through the town's bustling market, he stumbled upon an old, dusty bookstore. Inside, he met a peculiar man named Mr. Finch, a retired engineer known for his eccentric inventions and wise words. Mr. Finch noticed Eli's restless energy and struck up a conversation. "Young man," he said with a twinkle in his eye, "do you know why the river flows so steadily through our town?" Eli shrugged. "Because it's always been there?" Mr. Finch chuckled. "No, it's because it never stops moving. Even when it's just a trickle, it's still flowing." Success is like that. Small, consistent actions create unstoppable momentum. Intrigued, Eli leaned in as Mr. Finch shared a story. There was once a blacksmith who dreamed of crafting the finest sword in the land. But every day he would stare at the forge and think, "It's too much work. I'll start tomorrow." Years passed, and his tools gathered rust. One day, a traveler handed him a small piece of iron and said, "Start with this. Hammer it once a day, no more, no less." The blacksmith laughed but decided to humor the traveler. Each day, he struck the iron once. At first, nothing changed. But over time, the iron began to take shape. Months later, he held a beautifully crafted dagger in his hands. It wasn't the sword he had dreamed of, but it was a start. And with that start, he gained the confidence to create more. Eli's eyes widened. "So you're saying I don't need to do everything at once?" "Exactly," Mr. Finch replied. "Start small. Build a habit, no matter how tiny. Over time, those small actions will compound into something extraordinary." Inspired, Eli decided to take Mr. Finch's advice. He started with just 5 minutes a day, sketching ideas for his inventions. At first, it felt pointless. His sketches were messy, and his ideas felt silly. But he kept at it. Soon, 5 minutes turned into 10, then 20. He began reading about inventors, spending less time on his phone, and even started a gratitude journal. Each night, he wrote down 3 things he was thankful for, no matter how small. Months passed, and Eli's room transformed into a mini workshop. His sketches turned into blueprints, and his small daily efforts began to yield results. He built a small solar-powered fan, then a water filtration system for his school's science fair. His classmates were amazed, and his teachers encouraged him to keep going. Years later, Eli became a successful engineer, known for his innovative solutions to everyday problems. When asked about his journey, he always smiled and said, "It all started with 5 minutes a day." Success isn't about giant leaps, it's about tiny steps that never stop moving. And so, Eli's story became a legend in Willowbrook, reminding everyone that even the smallest habits, when nurtured with patience and consistency, can grow into something extraordinary. The river of success, after all, flows one drop at a time.